Hello creative friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Heather with The Myriad Maker. Today's video is another exploration into Neurographica. Before we get into my approach, I want to give you a quick rundown on all the supplies I used. First, I'm using a Bauhong 100% cotton watercolor block. It's a rough grain, and that really turned out to be a fun experiment with Neurographica, because when I went to draw the lines after everything was dry, the texture really caused my pen to jump around the page, so it really helped with creating those unplanned, inconsistent lines that are prevalent in Neurographica. The other supplies I used are Daniel Smith watercolors. I've got a Lunar black that I'm using and Moonglow, which is one of my all-time favorites. Both of these paints are highly granulating, and using a rough texture paper helps bring out those qualities. So while I was painting this, I used lots of water and moved the page around quite a bit so that it would flow and the pigments would settle into the paper in different ways. The other two supplies that I'm using are a silver black velvet watercolor brush in, I believe, a size 6 or an 8. I can't remember. I apologize. I have both. And a Winsor and Newton fineliner in 0.5. And I just want to say, you don't need fancy supplies to do this type of exploration. If you have any kind of watercolor paper, even a multimedia paper could probably work. You know, you don't need expensive paints, you don't need an expensive pen. You know, I hope if you're interested in trying this technique that you'll just use whatever you have and not feel like you need to purchase anything special for this. I happen to have quite an extensive watercolor collection, and okay, I admitted I'm a bit of an art supply hoarder. So I have a lot of things in my stash to use. I'll leave links in the description box below to all the supplies, so if you're interested in purchasing them, you can easily find them. But like I said, you don't need anything fancy to do this type of work. So I want to explain a little bit about my approach and why I'm taking the approach I am and what landed me there. I consider myself a creative person. However, my work life doesn't really allow me to be as creative as I would like to be. I work at a giant corporation, and I have a very high-stress, fast-paced corporate life Monday through Friday, and I find it very difficult to disconnect from that kind of driver, get-it-done mentality and just relax into creating art. It's really hard to flip that switch. So, you know, one of the struggles I often run into with creating art is just kind of this critical voice in my head. You know, like I said, I've got a results-oriented type job, so, you know, when I'm creating art, I kind of have this dialogue in my head of, oh, that's not right, oh, you need to do that better, oh, this, that, and the other, and I really just want to quiet that voice and be able to enjoy the process. So I've given a lot of thought to how I could approach that and what might be a better way for me to approach it so that I could really get into that, at least for me, elusive flow state and really just enjoy the art. So thinking about some of my favorite artists, I'm drawing on some of their techniques. One of them is Steve Mitchell with The Mind of Watercolor. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do. He's an amazing artist, and he has lots of tips and techniques and ideas for you to explore. One of the things that he does is he does intuitive landscapes, and when he creates intuitive landscapes, he creates a vignette. He works with colors that blend and meld together. Sometimes they're colors you might expect, sometimes they're surprising. But he always finds a way to really carve out the trees and the bushes and rocks, and all of a sudden you just see this beautiful landscape emerge in front of you. I've tried his techniques and struggled with it because, again, I can't seem to get out of my own head, but I like the idea. Another artist that does kind of intuitive painting is Creation CC, and I'll also link her channel in the description box. and she has a similar but different approach. She uses colors that she likes, you know, whatever is speaking to her at that moment, she'll throw those on paper and let them blend together. And then what she does is she typically doodles over the top of it. And her doodles are always very interesting. You know, sometimes they're very abstract, sometimes it's, you know, lines and dots, sometimes it's botanicals. It's always a, you know, variety of things, and the end result is always beautiful. So drawing from those two kind of intuitive approaches, what I thought I would do here is to use the underpainting to dictate the lines. So, you know, you see here I've got a lot of color on the paper, and what I thought I would do is just let my pen find the lines in between where all the colors meet. That kind of took the decision-making power away from myself, which worked. I was able to really just play with the colors, let them do their thing, and then go over top and just find the lines. I didn't really have to think about anything. I found that I really enjoyed it, and it did have some of that, you know, therapeutic benefit that I was looking for. I kind of got lost in it and just really was present in the process, and that's exactly what I was looking for. The proof that it worked for me is that after I finished this first one, I did 2 more. So that just tells me that I've hit on something that could possibly work for me. And I'm also thinking about how can I leverage this in other ways in my process. You know, if maybe it's a way that I can warm up and kind of, you know, maybe this is the switch I need to transition from my business life Monday through Friday to my creative life on the weekend. I don't know, but I am really happy with the results, and I'm happy with how it worked for me. So I'm going to keep doing some exploration in this area, and you'll probably see some more videos on this in the near future. So with that, that's all I have to say today. I hope you enjoy watching the rest of this process, and I hope you all have a great day.